Well, tree removal is taking place in Sibley Park in Mankato to make room for the incoming Kern Bridge.
That $10.5 million project is now underway 5 years after the historic bridge was removed from the LeSueur River and put into storage. 75% of funding is from the state and federal level. The rest was funded locally. Mankato Public Works says they're glad to have some finality in the situation.
It preserves a very important historical bridge in the community. Secondly, it'll provide a regional trail connection from Sibley Park across the Blue Earth River to Land of Memories Park.
The bridge will gain new life as a pedestrian bridge connecting Sibley and Land of Memories. Keel says the project is set to be complete by fall of next year.